Good Monday morning motivation. I hope you had a great weekend. It's still summer, but we're rounding things up. We're finishing out, and it's great. It's summertime. I'm here by this beautiful pond. You probably just saw a clip of it, and it normally is a beautiful pond. Had some cattails growing on the other side of the pond there, and they're fun. I don't know if you remember. I remember as a kid growing up, you try to get those punks, and you harvest them and you let them dry out. Once they dried out, you would light them up and use them as a punk. I don't know, some of you remember going to JoJo's buying punks, I think for 2 cents each, and those weren't those punks. They were these little things, supposedly kept the mosquitoes away. I'm not too sure. I think it was just kids just loving to play with a little bit of fire. Carefully, of course, abiding by all the rules when you got your lemon shillelagh at JoJo's. But that pond has cattails growing on the other side of it, and they're fun and they're beautiful, but left unchecked, they'll overtake that pond and smother the life of fish and everything else that is good out of it. This morning, I want us to address just a couple things that will help us on this week to better ourselves, right? That's what these Monday morning motivations are all about, to better ourselves, not to be better than everyone else, but just to better ourselves so that we will be individuals that are, we're profitable, we make a difference, we're pleasant to be around, and just like those cattails that are unchecked, we have things in our lives that, if left unchecked, will destroy the good things out of our lives. If we're lazy and negative, if we're lazy and negative all the time, it's going to start pushing out the good things out of our lives. If we talk trash about people, and then we have to see them at work, you start staying away from them, you start distancing yourself, and it starts causing strain on relationships. Bad attitudes is another thing that really will push out the good things out of our lives. These things can choke out the good and the benefit that are positive in our lives, and they start out as small things, but then they take over, and you'll start attracting people who are just as negative as you are, and then you're just a negative group. You'll be that negative group, and in fact, you'll only attract those who are negative, and everyone else is no good, and you just start criticizing everybody. I know we don't use that word gossip anymore, but we start gossiping, we start talking bad about people, and not constructive, conversations that you have to fix things, but just trying to rip people up. And, I want to challenge us this week. Consider not getting sucked into that kind of stuff, negativity, bad attitudes, because that'll spiral. And in fact, it'll spiral so far that you'll repel good people out of your life. Good people and nicer people won't even want to be around you because you're just so negative. You bring everybody down around you. I know that sounds harsh right now, but some need to hear that today. And I'm encouraging you to make a choice today for you to be a little more positive, careful with your words, watch your attitude, be careful who you spend most of your time with, because again, that'll affect, because if not, just like those cattails, it'll choke all the life and all the good out of your life. As Holy Scripture says in Matthew chapter 13 and verse 22, this would just be my opinion if I just threw all this at you, and probably some good stuff. But you know what? Holy Scripture says, Matthew 13:22, the seed falling from among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but worries about his life and the deceitfulness and wealth that choke out word, making it unfruitful. That was referring to as the sower of the seed. What happens to the seed? In fact, I forgot to even throw in that one area of our lives that even if we're pursuing materialism to the point that nothing else matters, relationships don't matter, doing good doesn't matter, volunteering doesn't matter any longer. You just want more stuff. You want to enjoy my life matters. Sure it does. But it'll eventually consume you and suck you up. And as Holy Scripture says, hey, be careful. Be careful to do better. The seed falling among thorns refers to someone who hears the word but doesn't apply it. I pray today the words you heard, you don't allow the thorns to swallow up all the good. Make it a point to start weeding, to pulling out the things that are destructive. Hey, if I see you on the streets of Garfield, be sure to wave, be sure to shout, be sure to beep. Hey, we are better together, and there's some good things happening in our city of Garfield. I refuse to give up and to give in and to believe everyone that says there's no hope. There is always hope for those who want to bring positivity and change, good change that is. So, hey, God bless you all. Have a great week. Be strong in Lord and mighty power, And, he'll give you the strength to overcome anything in your life. God bless you all. I'll see you real soon.